The art of receiving is the best part of manifestation, yet, it can be the most challenging part as well. As a co-creator taking an active part in manifestation, we ask the universe source guides for something that we want. We make a request. Now, each person is unique and so is their path. When we send our intentions to the higher-ups, it is almost as a proposal. We make our cases known, and we work with them. Now, sometimes what we request doesn't manifest. An example would be a job that you really wanted and thought that you could be of service in some way. You did all the mechanics, came from love and not fear, and it still didn't pop up. Ultimately, our higher-ups have the control and there is a reason why you didn't manifest the job. It could be to put you on your true path. It could be that they want to take you down a path to show you to not live in a state of fear of survival. It could be a multitude of things. However, our higher-ups always have our backs. Now, even when receiving, we must do our part. An example of this is with our unions. If we wish to be with our twins, then we must do our parts by honoring our union in all forms, not only spiritually, but physically as well. Yes, it is important to do healing and clearing of energy, but how are you physically honoring your union? Are you spending time with your twin energetically and working on yourself, or are you still playing the field and have the wandering eye? How is your space reflecting your union? Is it embracing your union with your twin in love, or is it symbolizing something else? How are you speaking of your twin? How are you speaking of your union? Forget what your twin is up to in the physical. What are you up to in the physical? It's like begging the coach to put you in the football game, and once the coach says, "All right, get in there," you don't even know where your helmet is. You're not even stretched out, you're not conditioned, and you barely know the plays, because instead of studying up and putting the work in, you've been just daydreaming about scoring all the touchdowns and winning the game. And when you do get in, everything falls apart because again, while the other players on the field had put in the work and studied up, you were still in the visualization portion of it all. And then when it falls apart, you fall into a victim role and start blaming everything and everyone. Now in regards to work, sometimes that work is to rest. Sometimes that work is to push beyond limits. Sometimes that work is monotonous. But no matter what, we must do our parts. Our higher-ups have the final say, and most of the time, our higher-ups are making us do the work whether we'd like to or not. If we had it our way, we probably would have been out of here a long time ago, especially during rough times like dark night of the soul or separation. But we're still here. In co-creation and manifestation, there is a balance between allowing the higher-ups to bring in the manifestation, and doing our part. It's not black and white. It's fluid. The best is to say to go with the flow with no judgment, to work and communicate with your guides throughout the whole process, and to do what you need to do. But it's funny because we are always doing what we're supposed to do, even when it may not seem like it. When we make mistakes, we did so that we could learn and grow. When in bad situations and just sticking around in them, we were building up what was ultimately needed to stand in our power and walk away from it. And for those times when we got caught back in old timelines, we did so that we would learn to recognize the right timeline and to dissolve the old one. We can kick and scream all we want, and for most of us we do, but the higher-ups are the conductors of this whole orchestration. Now, we do have say and they do keep our requests in mind. But in the end, they do have the final say. One of the biggest parts of this whole process is learning to truly trust our higher-ups. Many of us say we do, but when faced with extreme situations in the 3D, you'll see just how much faith and trust you have in them. But regardless, they will always come through, and in the end, we will find that trust and faith. To receive is to let go of the who, what, if, how, or where, and to just be thankful. When your loved one gives you a gift out of the blue, you are so appreciative of it. By working the details past a certain point, you start to block the appreciation because you start to create expectations. And with that, you lose gratitude because if something doesn't show up the way that you expected or thought you wanted, you get turned off by it. There's a fine line between knowing and expecting. Knowing is truth. Expecting is anxious and demanding. You don't demand love. You receive love by giving love, and by giving love to yourself to start. It's natural to be excited and to want to know all the workings of your union and whatnot. First off, we can kick and scream all we want, and they still won't oblige. But try not to let that excitement turn into worry, because then, you go down another timeline than the one that you're on. And remember not to fear that. Hold the vibration of acceptance and love. If you end up on another timeline, break it down, and get back on track. Focus on the process. There's a difference between creating boundaries to honor yourself and your truth, and being suspicious and nervous about losing an opportunity. Again, forget the labels. You don't need them. There's so much workings in regards to this and coming into union, but stick to the basics and work with your guides because they ultimately are the ones in control. Embracing this is the key to receive. For those twins who know that they will be coming into union very, very soon, first off, congratulations. Job well done. Most should already be conscious and deeply appreciative of what just took place and what is taking place as we speak. Truly beautiful it is. There's nothing really more to say than just be excited, but continue to stay open. More than ever, keep your energies clear and keep boundaries with those energies that can bring you down. You know you, and you know what to do. Enjoy and congratulations again. Take care. Brandon.